So we're back for part 2 of our microfiber couch cleaning video, and when we cut off at the last video, we had taken all the stuffing out. We had saved the stuff that was unadulterated, if you will. We had thrown out the stuffing at the top where the pea had kind of soaked in. Here's all the stuffing we saved. We did unfortunately have to do a few things since the last time we were on here. The smell, when our solution dried from the last video, the smell was mostly gone, but we could still smell it a little bit, so we took some extra measures to get rid of the smell. We did try a few things. We tried a little bit of dishwashing detergent, not from our dishwasher, but just like dish soap and water. That didn't seem to help very much. So then we actually used a 1-to-1 vinegar and water solution, and that seemed to actually help the most. It smelled like vinegar for the first 24 hours. Once that dried, it was the pea smell was pretty much gone. We did spray some Nutra Air Lysol air freshener in the inside of the cushion. That seemed to help, and then it seemed like the smell was gone, and all that was really left was we kind of unfortunately had that wet ring that happens with microfiber. So I'm sure some of you know the best way to get rid of a wet ring is to just use rubbing alcohol. We just used a little bit of rubbing alcohol right around where the ring was. We didn't even put it everywhere, and because that evaporates so quickly, it doesn't leave a ring. So we have at this point eradicated both the smell, the stain, and there's also no ring. So we are ready to restuff. We have the stuffing we saved. We also purchased a little bit more stuffing. This is, you know, on the higher end of quality stuffing. We wanted it to feel just like the stuffing that was in there. We wanted to have. We didn't want it to flatten out. We wanted it to look uniform, you know, all the things you might look for in pillow stuffing. So, it feels the same. This feels the same. Oh, and my dog just took some, as you saw. This stuffing feels the same as this stuffing. It was pretty affordable. That 5-pound bulk pack. We got it from Joann Fabrics for, it was $19.99. We used a 40% off coupon, so we actually got it for about 14 bucks. So, and there's plenty in there to restuff all our pillows if we wanted to. Well, we won't need to buy any more for a long time. So, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the hole that you've already seen. And I'm going to just start restuffing. I'm starting with the stuffing that we originally pulled out. And I'm just going to make sure I'm getting all the way to the corners here. And this is going to take a little while to get it all back in. And try not to get it all over the place. So I'm just going to work on this for a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, we've got ourselves restuffed here. You can see it looks a little bit fuller than our other pillows. We did overstuff a little bit because our dog, the dog you recently saw, by the way, is not the dog that committed the party foul. But he does like to perch here, so we stuffed it a little bit because there's still a lot of air and stuff in there. By the end of the day, probably even, it will have settled and look just like the other ones. And also, now that we've got it stuffed, we can see, I see a little bit more of a ring right here that I missed. I was worried about the ring up top. And so now I can see this little ring right here. So after I get this all sewn up, I'm going to come back in with a cotton ball and rubbing alcohol and just come around this ring and it'll dry right up, no problem. Okay, so here I have a curved needle. This is just from Walmart. It's a curved sewing needle. I borrowed some thread from my mother-in-law that matches the sofa fairly well. It's not going to matter that much. It's going to be at the bottom. I triple knotted I doubled up, triple knotted. Don't mind my nails. Now, I'm just going to come up here, and I'm going to start, see where all this is from where we ripped the seam. So I'm just going to push all that in. And I'm going to start on the inside because I don't want this knot sticking out. So I'm going to try to come right from where the other stitches are. I'm going to push all this inside. And come in. A little too high. So the microfiber is a little bit harder to pierce, and you got to make sure you're coming out at the right spot. The curved needle makes it really easy. Push it all inside. Pierce the one side. This is not going to be a perfect job, but we don't really care because it's underneath the cushion. All we care about is that it doesn't smell like dog pee anymore. Do you want me to